We all know that bad habits can damage your health, but did you know they can also harm our brains? In this video, we'll explore 8 common bad habits that can damage your brain. From eating unhealthy foods to not getting enough exercise, these activities can take a toll on our cognitive function and memory. So be sure to avoid these harmful behaviors if you want to keep your brain healthy and functioning as its best. Watch the video now for more information. Habits that damage your brain. 1. Eating unhealthy foods. Eating unhealthy foods can have a serious impact on our brain health and cognitive function. Eating processed or sugary foods can cause inflammation in the brain, which has been linked to a variety of neurological issues like depression, anxiety, and dementia. Additionally, these types of foods can lead to poor concentration and memory problems. Not only that, but eating too much unhealthy food can lead to obesity, which is associated with an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease and other forms of degenerative brain disease. Consuming sugar-filled snacks is also linked to impaired mental performance in school-aged children. The best way to avoid these risks is by cutting back on junk food and opting for a diet rich in nutritious fruits and vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, healthy fats, nuts, and seeds. Eating plenty of antioxidants found in plant-based food will not only benefit your physical health, but also help protect your brain from damage caused by free radicals. 2. Not getting enough exercise. Not getting enough exercise has a significant impact on our brain health. It can lead to poor concentration and memory problems, as well as decrease in cognitive function. Not only that, but lack of physical activity is known to increase the risk of developing dementia, Alzheimer's disease, and other forms of degenerative brain diseases. When we don't exercise regularly, our brain cells can become damaged due to lack of oxygen and nutrients. Furthermore, research suggests that regular physical activity may improve communication between neurons in the brain and even help form new neural connections. This can help boost memory and learning ability as well as increase our overall mental acuity. In addition, exercise has been proven to reduce stress levels and improve mood. This is important for maintaining a healthy neurological balance because chronic stress is known to damage certain areas of the brain such as the hippocampus, which plays an important role in memory formation. So be sure to get your daily dose of physical activity if you want to keep your brain functioning at its best. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity activities like walking or jogging each day, or do some resistance training with weights for 20 minutes twice per week. 3. Skimping on sleep. Skimping on sleep has a wide range of negative effects on our brains. Studies have shown that people who don't get enough sleep are much more likely to experience cognitive decline, memory problems, and increased risk of neurological disorders such as dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Inadequate sleep can also cause mood problems like depression and anxiety as well as increased stress levels. Not getting enough sleep can lead to decreased alertness and impair executive functions like decision-making and problem-solving. It can also interfere with learning ability by making it harder to remember information from lectures or readings. And research suggests that sleeping less than 6 hours per night is associated with poorer overall performance in school, work, and everyday life. Sleep deprivation affects different areas of the brain differently, resulting in changes in neural structure and function. A lack of sleep has been linked to decreased blood flow to the brain, which can affect its ability to process information efficiently. It can also reduce plasticity, the brain's ability to adapt quickly to new information, and weaken existing memories while making it harder to form new ones. The best way to avoid these risks is by getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. This means having consistent bedtime schedule and avoiding electronic devices before bedtime to ensure you get deep, restorative sleep that will keep your brain functioning at its best. 4. Stress and anxiety. Stress and anxiety can have a major impact on our brain health. When we experience too much stress, our cortisol levels rise, and this can cause damage to the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory formation and retrieval. Additionally, chronic stress has been linked to decreased gray matter volume in certain areas of the brain, leading to impaired cognitive function. Furthermore, Research suggests that exposure to chronic stress can increase the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease later in life. This is because stress hormones like cortisol can damage neurons and impair their ability to communicate with each other. Anxiety also has an effect on our brains by releasing hormones called neurotransmitters that can interfere with our ability to think clearly and make decisions. It can lead to mental fatigue due to increased neural activity, which makes it harder for us to focus and remember things, as well as increase our risk of developing depression or other mood disorders. Fortunately, there are many ways we can reduce stress and anxiety, such as regular exercise, deep breathing techniques, yoga, meditation, counseling or cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT, mindfulness practices, journaling, listening to music, or taking up a creative hobby. These activities help regulate the levels of cortisol in our bodies, which reduces its damaging effects on the brain while promoting relaxation and improved mental clarity. In addition, they help boost endorphins, hormones associated with improved mood, which helps reduce anxiety levels and keeps your brain functioning at its best. 5. Excessive alcohol consumption and drug abuse. Excessive alcohol consumption and drug abuse are both very dangerous habits that can significantly damage the brain. In fact, alcohol is a neurotoxin that affects the brain in many ways, especially when consumed in large amounts. It can impair coordination and balance as well as affect judgment and decision-making abilities. Long-term alcohol use has also been linked to a reduction in gray matter volume, which increases the risk of developing memory problems, depression, dementia, and other cognitive impairments. Furthermore, abusing drugs can have an even more serious effect on the brain due to the toxic chemicals they contain. These substances can interfere with normal brain functioning by changing its chemical makeup and damaging nerve cells. They can alter levels of neurotransmitters that are responsible for regulating moods, thoughts, and behaviors, which lead to impaired concentration, memory loss, confusion, paranoia, aggression, and even psychosis. The effect of drug abuse often lasts long after someone has stopped using them because these toxins can remain in the body for extended periods of time. This means that individuals may still experience cognitive deficits months or years after stopping their use despite no longer actively taking drugs. Therefore, it's important to avoid heavy drinking or drug use of any kind if you want to keep your brain healthy and functioning at its best. 6. Too much time with gadgets and technology. In recent years, the use of technology and gadgets has become increasingly more common. We rely on our phones, tablets, and computers for almost every aspect of our life, from communication to entertainment. However, this constant use of technology can be actually detrimental to our cognitive health. Studies have shown that too much time spent with gadgets and technology has been linked to an increase in distraction and multitasking, both of which can take a toll on our brains. Multitasking has been found to reduce productivity, decrease accuracy, and impair short-term memory. Furthermore, excessive use of technology can lead to sleep disturbances due to the blue light emitted from screens, which disrupts melatonin, a hormone released in the brain that helps regulate our circadian rhythms. When this hormone is suppressed, it can lead to difficulty falling asleep, feeling less alert during the day, and an overall decrease in quality of sleep. 7. Smoking and tobacco use. Smoking and tobacco use are two of the worst habits for your brain health. They can both contain high levels of toxins that can damage your neurons and disrupt the normal functioning of brain. Tobacco smoke contains over 4,000 chemicals, many of which are carcinogens that increase your risk of developing cancer, heart disease, and other serious medical conditions. In addition to this, nicotine, a highly addictive substance found in cigarettes and other forms of tobacco, can cause a surge in dopamine levels, which affect our concentration, memory, and learning ability. When it comes to our brains, smoking has been linked with an increased risk of developing Alzheimer's disease and dementia, as well as impairing our verbal fluency skills. Research has also suggested a link between smoking and depression due to the influence it has on our mental state. Studies have uncovered that smokers have higher rates of depression than those who do not smoke. Furthermore, smoking can worsen existing mental health issues such as anxiety by depleting serotonin levels in the brain, thus impacting one's overall mood. The effects of smoking on the brain can be long-lasting even after some has quit smoking because the chemicals contained in cigarettes take years to dissipate from the body. This is why quitting smoking is essential for protecting your brain from further damage. By avoiding cigarettes or any other forms of tobacco, you can reduce stress levels, improve concentration, and boost your mood while keeping your cognitive functions sharp. 8. Neglecting social relationships and human interaction. Neglecting social relationships and human interaction is another dangerous habit for your brain health. When we neglect our social lives, it can lead to feelings of loneliness and isolation, which can be detrimental to our mental health. Studies have shown that loneliness can increase the risk of developing depression, anxiety, and other mood disorders, as well as accelerating cognitive decline. On the other hand, having meaningful social connection has been found to reduce stress levels and help us cope with life's difficult moments. Not only does having supportive friends release feel-good hormones such as oxytocin in the brain, but studies have also revealed that these connections can help slow down age-related memory decline. When it comes to maintaining healthy social relationships, quality matters more than quantity. Having a few meaningful connections with people you trust and who support you is far better than having a large number of superficial friendships. It's important to make time for activities such as talking on the phone, sending emails, or meeting up with friends in person, all of which will help keep your brain sharp. Additionally, engaging in activities like volunteering or joining a club are great ways to meet new people while helping out your community at the same time. Conclusion: in order to have a healthy brain, it is important to be aware of the bad habits that can damage it. Smoking, for example, contains many harmful chemicals that can increase your risk of developing cancer and any other serious illnesses. Additionally, neglecting social relationships can lead to loneliness and isolation, which are detrimental to mental health. By avoiding these dangerous habits and engaging in healthy activities instead, you can keep your brain functioning at its best. See you all next time. Thanks for watching and have an amazing day.